Hi, I'm Dr. Paula Duran. I'm a psychologist and I have the opportunity today to speak to you on your conference title, Your Business Self-Concept, The Power of Collaboration. I'd like to thank, first of all, the planning team, Business to Business, for inviting us, the sponsor, Goldman Sachs, as well as all of you for being here to learn during this session. As you know, I am not there in person, but I wanted to add my thoughts and ideas to this conversation. As a consultant, you know what it takes sometimes that your schedule must change if the customer needs you. But I want to share today a couple of things. I would like to share with you some lessons learned when it comes to self-esteem of your business. Following that, I'd like to talk about a model of leadership that really aligns perfectly with the concept of collaboration. That you can look at and challenge yourself to say, am I doing well on this model? So let me start here. Let's start with a definition of self-esteem. When I think of the concept of self-esteem, I think about it from the vantage point of how do I feel about myself, the worth I feel, the value I feel like I contribute. It's important when you think about it, a person with a very solid self-esteem has a very good sense of self, who they are, and what they're about. Now let's tag the word business in front of that, business self-esteem. A business which really aligns with the person that's really feeling good about itself. You have confidence that you can get your customers, you can service your customers, you can provide the correct service needed. It has an I can do attitude. So what I'd like to do is combine those concepts and share with you some of the lessons I've learned in the last 25 years as an executive coach, as a leadership development person, really an organizational development consultant. Lesson 1. Don't mistake self-esteem for ego. Self-esteem is, as I said, worth, value. Sometimes people are arrogant in their gifts. So, and what that may look like is they might be envious of others. They might pretend not to need assistance when they really do. They may not ask for help and they need help. That gets into that ego issue. But, and what you might see is them disrespectful of their customers, disrespectful of the people that they support. And it's really important for you as a business owner, it is extremely important for you to value your customers and to provide exceptional support. Please know, business self-esteem is not ego. Lesson 2, you are the author of your story. There are a lot of people who feel like they've got marks against them. I didn't go to the right school. I'm probably the first person in my family to start a business. I don't know the right people. Whatever your life story is, we all have one. What's important is that if you don't like your story, rewrite it. If the issue is you don't feel like you have the right academic background, go get some more education. If you feel like you don't know the right people, learn to network, get exposure, connect with people who can provide you with additional support. So don't let your current story dictate your future action or success. It's really important that you make sure that you'll not allow your current state to influence your future state. And let me give you an example. There was a person once who I really thought was really gifted. And it was a principal, matter of fact. He was really smart. He had all the smarts necessary to make a strategic change in the school he was assigned. And matter of fact, he was brought in for the purpose of improving performance in the school. He knew the what to do, he had the approaches, he had the strategy, but for some reason there was a part of him that had an arrogance about him that somehow it wasn't working. Take this image. Imagine a soldier going to the top of the hill, taking the hill, planting the flag in the hill, and they look back and there's nobody there. What good is being gifted and talented if you don't know how to lead the people in the process? My third lesson, your business parallels you. What does that mean, Paula? What it means is you define the success of your business. If you are a person who's not willing to work, your business probably won't work. If you are a person who is so afraid of making a mistake that you make a mistake anyway, you probably won't be successful. And let me tell you in the process, let me tell you a story about a bottleneck. I had a coach as I was going through the early stages of development of my business. And he told me that, Paula, you're really smart. You have great products. You give good service. He said, but you are the bottleneck for growth in your own business. I was willing to hear it. I could have gotten upset. Well, what do you mean by that? I'm the bottleneck. What he was saying was, I had to touch everything. Nothing left the office unless I saw it. I put my name on it. Well, and yes, you need to put your name on it, but you need to be developing people around you that can also support the business and help it grow. And even if they're not necessarily your team, you need to be looking at partnerships that enhance the gifts that you have. Lesson 4, reinvent yourself. If you need to reinvent yourself, do it. If you're finding that your approach is not working, change the approach. If the strategy is not working, change the strategy. Don't get so tied up into it that you feel like I fail. And let me just give you some words. Everybody in this room, including me, has failed. But the failure is not the issue. The issue is, how soon do you recover? How soon do you put another plan together? How soon do you keep going? That makes a bigger difference than the fact that you fail. I have a friend who filed for bankruptcy, had a wonderful business, but filed for bankruptcy. And then the next week he started another business. What I learned from watching him was knowing that his business was not his ego. If you put all of your personal self into the business and then it fails, the issue is you feel like you fail. I am a believer that your strategies fail. And you need to push yourself past your comfort zones, because that's not where growth occurs. If you know how to do everything, then you need to keep pushing, because there's more. There is more. My other comment on this one, you should never be the brightest crayon in the box all the time. You need some other talented people around you that could really help you define and provide direction for your business. Quick review. Lesson 1, don't mistake esteem for ego. Lesson 2, you are the author of your story. Lesson 3, know yourself, because your business will parallel you. And number 4, reinvent yourself and don't be afraid to fail. Now what I'd like to do is to talk about a model. It's a leadership model that I utilize when I am consulting. It's called a leadership diamond. So I'd like you to do this. On a sheet of paper in front of you, just put a diamond. Draw a diamond. At the top of the diamond, I'd like you to put the letter V. To the right side of that diamond, I'd like you to put the letter R. At the base of that diamond, I like the letter E. And then finally, in this corner, I'd like the letter C. And I want to walk you through what that means. This diamond represents what I consider leadership greatness. Kostenbaum created this model. Every business starting at the top must have a vision. You have to know where you're going. It excites you. It's passion. It wakes you up in the morning, in the middle of the night. It's what you say your true gifts are. You have to have a vision so you know how to plan and move forward. Stephen Covey says your vision is like that first plan before you actually create the real thing. So vision and passion are essential. Then let's move over to the right. The letter R stands for realism. You need to make sure that your vision is not simply a dream. Some of us will sit and procrastinate and dream about all these wonderful things, but we will not act. It is important that there's some realism in it. What do I mean by realism? What I mean is you need to be putting a plan together. You need to know what's required to deliver. Who are my competitors? What are the things I want to set for myself? What makes me the company that I want other people to hire? There has to be realism. But don't let realism stop your vision, because sometimes you need to push the boundaries even of yourself. Let's continue around the diamond. The E stands for ethics. It is so important that you have a standard of who you are. You need to be ethical above all else. If you have a need for immediate gratification and something comes along and it sounds too good to be true, I want you to know it is too good to be true. You need to know what you stand for. When I started my business, I said that there are 3 things I really wanted to do. I wanted to make a difference, I wanted to add value, and I wanted to be paid for the stuff I delivered. Those 3 principles guide me and continue to guide me as I can grow in my business. So you have to be ethical. Your word has to be your bond. Anyone you work with has to know that you're real. Then let's go over to the C. The C is courage. You have got to have enough courage that you can stand all by yourself if you had to, that you could do the right thing in spite of everything else. Well, Paula, what does this have to do with partnership or collaboration? When you talk about collaborating, you need to know why you and the other person or company are coming together. You need to share your vision. They need to share their vision. You need to talk about where the alignments are. We need to find strategies to win-win. So know your personal value. But also, in the realism component, don't overestimate yourself or don't allow other people to overestimate themselves. It is important that you're realistic on what we can achieve together. Ethical means, in this partnership, that we are values aligned. I worked with a team, two companies that were planning on merging. And when we went through the values assessment part of that merger, we found that there were clear distinctions. And we talked about that. I said, based on these indicators, you have some values conflicts. They didn't listen, but we listened eventually. They got together, and in less than a year, they fell apart. What I saw in that real brief moment with them is that there was a work ethic on one side that was exceptional. And the work ethic on the other side was not exceptional. You need to figure out if we have a work ethic that matches each other. And then the C, in terms of collaboration, the team has to have the courage to do what they need to do. There are no excuses. If you decide what you want to do, you have a plan in place, you move forward and make it happen. Collaboration is a wonderful thing. The challenge is knowing what you bring to the table, what the other person brings to the table, and how we can solidify that relationship for the better good of our customers. Let me just say one closing comment as I think about what you're doing today. A lot of new businesses focus a lot on money. My father told me if you pursue excellence, money will follow. This is what I want to leave in saying. Wealth is what you take from the world. Worth is what you give back. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope there was some information in this brief moment that you found of value. Thank you. Dr. Duran, call me, leave me a note at paula@pauladuran.com anytime I can be of assistance.